believe it or they cannot believe it, but I am telling you right now, that motherfucker back there is not real.
Real talk.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Conspiracy Roundtable, part 2 of our massive marathon of going through these conspiracies. Oh boy, if you made it through last week's, good luck making it through this one, man. This one's gonna be heavy. So,
This one's fun.
how are you feeling? Have I burnt you out yet? Are you ready to quit?
I'm always burnt out on this shit, but I'm still gonna do it.
Check out our last one, part 1. Welcome to part 2. It's about to get a little bit more real here. For those who don't know, this is part 2 of a Conspiracy Roundtable where we take some of the biggest conspiracy theories in the world, we give it yay or nay, and we dissect it. And boy, dissect it we do.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. If you listen, if you listened last week, we dissected, well, for sure, one of them.
So, yeah, dude. Let's just get into it. We're only at number 5. So here's number 5 on our list of conspiracies.
Welcome back to Real Talk.
Welcome back to Real Talk, by the way. And this is, let's get even bigger. Okay, this is growing in intensity here. So,
Yeah.
number 5, halfway through the list. Conspiracy number 5. And this is a fun one. Aliens have been on Earth all along, and the government knows about them / is working with them.
Hold the fuck on, dude.
You thought 9/11 was going to take up a long time? This is number 5 out of 10.
I thought we were going by intensity, and you put aliens after 9/11. Oh my god. Oh fuck! Sorry.
Maybe not intensity, but maybe.
Man, that's so funny. I'm so
maybe
sorry.
depth.
It's just the weird order
We're
of
not
things.
making light of any of these things.
We're not making
obviously.
light of aliens.
Things like 9/11, people lost their lives. It's not a joke. We're just observing the conspiracy theories. This is real talk. We're talking about aliens, right? We're not making light of the situation. Aliens are possibly here, and the government's been colluding with them. So, but that is the conspiracy we're going to talk about now. Aliens have been on Earth all along, and the government knows about them / is working with them. Yay or nay?
I'm gonna say yay because, well, one, there's like full denial of aliens in general in the world, and that makes that goes with the selfishness of flat Earth. It's like, you really think we're the only fucking people breathing and talking? That's like out the gate. That's but a planet who's been here this long, at least one or two of these guys had to stop by and say, hey.
We're not new here anymore. Come and say hi, right? But look, I'm going to say that you're going to say yay on this one, right?
Yeah.
Definitely a yay for me, too. You'd be stupid to think that human beings are the only intelligent life out there. Look how self-centered the idea of flat Earth theory was. How self-centered is it that we are the only intelligent life in any galaxy?
And we're losing that fucking title here soon.
Right? We're not even that intelligent anymore. Cows be farting.
Cows be fucking ripping their shit, dude.
But
We're talking like all this here, like we're smart. We still keep cows as shit.
dude, we're trying to enlighten you. Cows be farting, dude. Check out part 1 if you don't get it. But look, how stupid would it be to believe that aliens don't exist on other worlds, let alone ours, but
let alone ours,
and other places? Obviously, they do. That's why I didn't even include just the blanket aliens are real. That's why I didn't even. That's not even a conspiracy theory. It's so dumb to think they're not real. I don't think anyone thinks that.
well, the flat earthers probably.
Oh, they probably do. But look, it's a different conversation to say UFOs are aliens or alien abductions. That's a whole different
So
conversation.
you're not we're not challenging just the exist. We're talking about
No, we're not talking about the existence of aliens. The big question.
Yeah,
we're talking about the conspiracy that the government not only knows about it, but is cooperating.
Well, they've confirmed UFOs and shit, right? So
well,
it's
the
like
government confirmed UFOs, yeah, but
they're
UFOs,
confirming 15% of what people want, basically.
Yeah, and UFOs, obviously people only go the alien route when talking about UFOs, but UFOs aren't necessarily
They're just
alien.
Unidentified flying fucking things.
Exactly. It's very easy for the government to confirm the existence of UFOs because, hey, guess what?
It's a UFO until it isn't.
What's in the name? The name roughly translates to, I don't know.
You should have called it IDK.
Unidentified flying objects. You know what that roughly translates to in American government
The
speak?
fuck is that?
Something. Yeah, that's a thing. That's what that translates to. So yeah, it's easy for the government to confirm the existence of UFOs, obviously.
Yeah.
Confirming the extraterrestrial connection of them, a little harder. But are they here?
I think I'm going to say yay for sure because it's like, well, one, I guess here's deeper on the concept. Do you think that they know about the aliens and they're like, say like there are celebrities that are aliens? Like, do you think like any of these unique people that stand out in society could be this? Or do you think they're just hiding in, like not in plain sight, they're just hiding?
What is the question behind the question? Like, is Elon Musk a shapeshifter?
Basic, not a lizard, but like if we're gonna go by the alien route, if you look at the fucking guy,
if you listen to the guy, look, I don't buy into that per se. I think if extraterrestrials are here on the planet, which is yay for me, by the way.
Yeah, kangaroos.
Obviously kangaroos. I mean, have you seen those? They're basically demons with a third tail. They stand back on it and they throw hands with any animate object. What is that if not a human?
It's the fucking oats. That's the most badass animal, I think.
Dude,
you think
I saw a video of a kangaroo watching a guy parachute in, and he ran over to his landing spot and started throwing hands with it. The only animal on the planet that says, you know that thing falling out of the sky? I'm gonna beat the shit out of it. I think that. That just goes to, dude, kangaroos are ridiculous, man. Kangaroos will throw hands with a wall if they have to.
but yeah, you think aliens are on the planet. Do you think you've possibly seen one that's been hiding? Do you think you've ever had an experience like that? I think we lived with one at one point, but
shit.
We were great. We were roommates and woo! So that's another podcast, dude. I swear, we got to do it. But anyway.
That's a conspiracy. Let's stay on topic here.
Sorry.
Look,
that's a 4-parter.
Whether you believe that extraterrestrial presence on this planet is a new age thing, a modern thing that only exists in the information age, or if you buy into the ancient aliens theory, like aliens built the pyramids and aliens built Stonehenge and aliens were around in biblical times, and maybe even the idea that Jesus is an alien. I've heard convincing theories on that. Look, it doesn't matter. The point is...
Is it convincing about Jesus being an alien?
Hey, we just talked about the flat earth. You know what I mean? So look, I believe they're here. I believe they're
basically... You think they're hiding? They're not public?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to live on our block or anything like that, but I do believe that they're here on the planet. People talk about Area 51, being the most common...
Fucking Men in Black, dude.
And Men in Black. They talk about the ideas about people who have been abducted by aliens or have had extraterrestrial contact being visited a day or two later by these mysterious Men in Black suits that almost aren't human, Like, that's a good video in and of itself, but...
I'm just saying, you know how to take steam off of that? You make a fucking movie with Will Smith, and now it's not real anymore. Men in Black's not real.
Yep. As long as you make the idea of Men in Black into a fun science picture, a science fiction movie. I think
we're gonna get to that later, though, right?
We are. Yeah. You make it into a fun kids movie that you watched when you were a kid. And now when you Google Men in Black, you only get the movie.
Yeah.
So look, I think they're here. Area 51 is everyone's favorite go-to. Who knows what they've got underground there? This isn't going to be an Area 51 podcast, but I'm sure that they've got something there. And if they don't, I think Area 51 is so common knowledge for everyone in the country that maybe it's just a red herring, and the real quote-unquote Area 51 with the spacecraft and with the extraterrestrial corpses is somewhere else that you don't even know about.
It's like if these things were Yeah. I don't know. It's like, why would they be so? It's like a believed thing by a lot of people. Like, there's got to be some sort of information behind it. I feel like we were. I'm sorry. I heard like a little bit of it, and then like I didn't space out. I feel like I just misunderstood you there. We're going to cut this out, obviously.
Either Area 51 obviously exists. People know about it. You got the whole meme thing from a couple of years ago. People tried to raid it or whatever. Area 51 has been well known for years, decades even.
So, because of mysteriousness, do you think the aliens thing was put in that, or do you think there's a truth of aliens being in Area 51?
Look, there's two scenarios, because obviously the scenario is not that Area 51 doesn't exist, because obviously
it exists.
It exists.
Like, yeah.
So one of two possible outcomes: either A, there is alien life in there, corpses, UFOs, whatever, alien technology is in Area 51, or Area 51 is the distraction from where the alien corpses actually are. Either way, it does exist.
Yeah.
No one knows for sure. Anyone who claims to know for sure, written off as conspiracy nuts. You know, we've had people come forward in decades talking about how they work there and their NDA expired or whatever. But I don't know, man. It's hard for me to believe.
He saw a guy with a tail once. He got fucking thrown out of a bus.
It's like, oh, that's not even a guy.
That person is not real.
The fucker is not real. Dude,
I love that lady.
I think people who come forward claiming that they worked at Area 51 and they worked on aliens, it's hard to believe them because it's very obvious to understand. If you spend 5 minutes on Reddit, you understand why you can't believe these people.
Yeah.
Because anyone could say that. You know, I saw the post about, and I was crazy about the post a couple months ago about the guy who came forward and explained that the Battelle Research Institute in Maryland is housing extraterrestrials and they're doing biological experiments on the corpses. Very, very, very convincing stuff. It got big, and then that account got banned. So yeah, fuel to the fire. So the Battelle National Research Institute or something like that. Battelle. I'm gonna look it up right now.
I didn't.
I sent you the story. You didn't even read it. My God, can't believe you didn't even read it.
I probably did, but I have short-term memory loss, dick.
Basically,
cut that out.
Basically, the Battelle National Biodefense Institute. It's a lab in Frederick, Maryland. A guy.
Whoa, that's where I was gonna move.
Don't do that. Basically, this guy came forward anonymously and claimed to a great level of detail about these biological entities in the basement or the sublevels that they were doing research on. And they were extraterrestrials.
In Frederick?
Frederick, Maryland, the Battelle National Biodefense Institute. Something that I'd never heard of until this post, and now it's popping.
Yeah, I didn't hear that. I've never heard of that until, well, obviously I didn't know that thing.
Basically, this guy says not only do they have the alien bodies, but they have a great understanding about the DNA, how they're almost human, they're very frail, they got like pasty white skin, they don't need to eat because they secrete their waste through their skin pores and stuff like that. Everything that they understand, like I can't explain it well because it's so clearly written by a biologist.
They described Tilda Swinton. You realize that, right?
Like there's 3 paragraphs just on the DNA alone. So it's very, very interesting. Look up the Battelle.
Oh my God, Conan O'Brien's an alien.
Conan probably is. Look up the expose on the Battelle Institute, man. But
I'm definitely gonna open that link.
I'm gonna send you that link. That was crazy, dude. It was
that is
crazy
fucking wild. Like, what kind of like he really went full in like on.
He
the
was a biologist, and he was
and like what they did.
No, he was doing autopsy on the corpses, and he was describing all the research that they understand thus far. Like he put it out there.
Did
like
he say
everything that they've learned.
Where did they find the corpses? Did they say anything like that?
They didn't say that. He just said that he was hired and he had to go through like 7 or 8 interviews of security clearance, and then finally all the information that he's gathered from working on them and dissecting them, how their organs work and how they develop and how they digest enzymes and stuff like that. basically the most convincing thing I've ever read in my life. If it is fiction,
He's a fucking psychopath.
if it is fiction, it's the most accurate and medical-based fiction I've ever seen. So,
But also, like, fully psychotic if you're going that deep on something that's not real.
Look up the Reddit post about the Battelle National Biodefense Institute.
And then get rid of your computer.
And then hide. Because it chilled me to my bones when I read it. But, back to what I was saying, take it with a grain of salt. Because you can't always believe these guys. But it's not out of the realm of possibility that aliens are here and colluding with the government. I mean, the people who talk about aliens...
That's the part that's weird to me. It's the colluding with the government part.
Well,
I understand the government will probably know they're here and doing the testing, but the idea of colluding means that they're like, I think I used the word earlier, they're being like part of it. They're like complicit, I guess.
They're not complicit, but they're working with, they're exchanging, they might be exchanging information. They might be learning from them in order, and you know what? How far-fetched is it to say that the U.S. government or even Russia's government or China would collude with them to gain an upper military hand against enemy countries?
What if Oppenheimer met an alien?
You know, Barbie. That's all I have to say about that. But look, I mean, people who buy into this theory will say, like, I mean, just look at why we haven't used nuclear weapons in almost 100 years, you know? Every country is stockpiling nuclear weapons. And yeah, nobody wants to use them because they know the fallout, you know? Dealing with the fallout there.
Dealing with the fallout.
Look, what if aliens are only allowing humans into this greater understanding of the universe if they agree to not destroy the planet? You know what I mean? What if aliens are just silent observers? What if the government is allowing them to run tests on humans, and that's why all these stories about abductions are taking place?
And, well, so, you know, the movie Nope is, like, basically, like you saying that, it just put in the, like, that could be more true than any of it, is, like, harvesting us.
Harvesting? Yeah.
Like, because it's like, if we're working with them, why don't they just, if clearly they got here so they're stronger and smarter than us, they could have wiped us out if they wanted to.
Exactly.
So, I don't know, that's...
It obviously...
So it's terrifying if it's real. We're being fucking watched.
Exactly.
Constantly. It's fucking scary.
Thousands, probably millions at this point, of stories of alien abduction. Most of them play out the same.
You made me, like, totally okay with the government watching me on shit. Like, I'm like, you look at whatever you want, man. There's fucking guys up there trying to eat me.
There's a guy right over there. And he's not even a guy.
It's a fucking kangaroo again.
You see that thing jumping at you? Run, dude.
Hold me back. Get your boy.
Yo, get your boy, dog. Why does he got 3 legs? Oh, that's a tail?
So you were saying?
I don't know, man. Kangaroos are scary, dude. Yo, this dog deer monkey man just ripped the door off my car. You know?
This fucking furry rock sock robot being a real fucking dick.
Yo, this bipedal moose just attacked the tank.
This fucking T-Rex rat is so fucking mad right now.
Dude, I don't know how we got on the kangaroos, but...
Because they're fucking not from here, dude.
They're ridiculous, dude.
No, they're a test. That's what they are. They're a dog and some other shit. And I don't know what it is yet.
I think if the government ever asked me, do you want to be thrown in a cage with a gorilla or thrown in a cage with a kangaroo?
Gorilla's going to kill you easy, like faster, I think.
Okay, a kangaroo's going to maim you.
Well, no, he's going to box you. he's gonna Irish box you.
Kangaroo is gonna keep you alive long enough to beat the life out of you.
I would rather a gorilla do what Hulk did to Loki to me.
Smash him on the ground. How are we talking about this? Oh yes, the Battelle National Biodefense Institute.
Yeah. So it's like
like we didn't just talk about kangaroos.
I was getting back to it. Hey, look, man, I can get back in the character like it's fucking nothing.
Look, I think aliens are here. There's a lot of stories out there. I've read a story about these soldiers in Vietnam who were on like a recon mission at night in Vietnam. It was dead silent, and they saw these like 7 or 8 foot tall bipedal humanoid figures walking through the underbrush across the lake, and they were almost glowing, and they were not human. They were walking in a single file line. Soldiers in Vietnam who have nothing to gain from this other than maybe fame from the story, but even then the story didn't take off
because they're dead.
Yeah, so
that's why I've actually never heard that one either.
That's a scary one. That was pretty real. But
I need to watch more of these. I need to listen to more of these.
It's hard to find good information out there, man. YouTube just does not want you to find the good stuff. But
just watch the Joe Rogan podcast.
it wants you to watch Joe Rogan, and that's it. But look,
sorry.
I think aliens are here. I don't think they're out here building pyramids anymore.
They really have to be here, even if they're not hiding or colluding. They're here. They're hanging out. They're vibing. I don't know if they're actually trying to take over.
I think if they were, they would have already.
Yeah, or maybe they're doing that now.
Maybe they're introducing things into society that are forcing it into a certain direction, which we will get to. It's one of the conspiracies later on. But
in one of the next 5 episodes.
Yeah. Speaking of that, let's change the topic, man.
Yeah.
I think aliens are here, and to the extent of which they are colluding with our own government and world governments, we'll never know. The government has all but confirmed that they're here.
But that's also like that was like being like giving 10% of like, it's like here's like a quarter when there's like a whole fucking like $1,000 behind you of like, oh shit, they're here.
Barely letting you in.
Yeah, like Clinton's one of them.
That not they'll let you know that they exist.
That fucking island.
They'll tell you that they're here, like one of the government.
That island we're gonna talk about later is where they're doing a bunch of testing.
Yeah. But anyways.
Sorry.
Let's cut that there. Hold on. All right. The government has basically all but confirmed that aliens exist. But
you already sound exhausted going into this next.
Not that it's a red herring, but let's take a look at the next conspiracy, which is contradicting the one that we just did. Conspiracy number 6. Aliens don't exist, but the government is attempting to drum up fears of aliens and alien invasion and other worldly threats in order to create a one world government.
That's obviously a more recent one.
That's a more grounded one. That's a more recent one.
It's grounded because you're eliminating the aliens part.
You're eliminating the aspect of it,
But aliens do exist. The idea of them being here may be weird.
Do you believe, yay or nay, do you think there's any credibility to the idea that the government is lying about these?
Do I think there's credibility to it? That's a difference from what you're asking.
Yay or nay, do you think that there's any truth to the conspiracy that aliens don't actually exist and that the government is just trying to use fears of that to drum up a one world government?
Just based off of the idea that the aliens don't, no aliens exist. So I'm going to say
nay on that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because that's the only thing that makes sense to me. Like to say, you can say aliens exist and they can just say we've seen shit and just not actually seen anything.
Yeah, I'm going to say nay to it too because I am such a firm believer that aliens exist. But the idea of this conspiracy is that there are no aliens.
But yeah, no, I mean, I could see where it is very grounded because you can see the evidence is so circumstantial. Like the circumstantial evidence is like so in your face.
Yeah. And it's the idea that aliens don't exist. UFOs are not actually extraterrestrials, but they're just like China spy satellites or something, or experimental tech or whatever. But the government, through indirect means, through big Hollywood films, conspiracy podcasts, or whatever, is trying to drum up fears.
Joe Rogan
is trying to drum up fears that aliens are here, so that the populace is scared of an alien invasion being imminent, and they're more likely to vote in favor of all the world governments colluding under one umbrella, introducing a one totalitarian government, aka a new world order.
So here's where unless like all this stuff that we're going through now is like building into that new world thing, but there's too much anger on the planet between everybody for me to believe that a new world thing could ever happen.
A new world order.
Yeah. Because
Too much
everybody's
disagreement.
everybody's so mad at each other.
Well, that's the
even
thing.
here, people hate each other.
That's the thing. People are against each other, like because of different religious beliefs, because of different border beliefs, and neighboring countries having different beliefs, like the Ukraine and Russia thing, or the Israel and Palestine thing, like, and even going back centuries, man.
Yeah.
Like the idea that people are against each other because all we have are each other. But if the government introduces this other threat outside of the planet that's bigger than us or them, that's bigger than anything on this planet, countries will put aside their differences and put aside their beliefs and their wars and say, okay, it's time we work together.
Oh my God,
against this.
it's the plot of Independence Day.
Basically, Independence Day.
Yeah, because the whole world comes together to fight these.
Where the world puts aside their warring differences against this
you
common
see it in
enemy.
Hollywood movie. Oh wow.
Yeah, that is a belief.
That's definitely a more recent theory. It has to be.
It has to be. It has to be.
So like,
It's also it doesn't have as much weight because there's just so much talk of aliens out there.
yeah, like
It can't all be government fear mongering.
there could just be aliens, and like if they are saying that there are aliens and that's real, and I think it's real, then a new world order may be like an okay thing to do in a sense because that's fucking scary.
That's the idea.
But
is for you to say that it's scary.
Yeah, but again, like it would have happened by now.
You think, but I don't know, man. It's very. If that is the case, and there's truth to this conspiracy where there is no aliens, but they're just trying to fearmonger in order to create a one world government, they're doing a bad job at it because there's just it's not to a point unless Independence Day happens tomorrow. The world is not coming together.
No, it's November 12th. It wouldn't be. And it's sorry to date the podcast.
Look, unless an invasion happened tomorrow, you're just not going to convince the world, one, to put aside their petty squabbles, and two, the aliens don't exist.
It's like treating it like it's an impending thing. It's like, if it's impending, like, why are we?
Yeah. I don't think I'm going to see an alien invasion in our lifetime, but I do believe that they're here.
Yeah.
And they are real. I do believe that. Not a lot of weight behind that conspiracy theory, but I had to put it out there in contradiction to the other one because a lot of people believe it.
Yeah, you have to do, you have to see both sides of it.
All right, next one. Number 6? No, number 7.
7 because, well, basically 5 and 6 were
5
one.
and 6 were related. All right, number 7. Now, another disclaimer, another preface.
Oh, Jesus.
Like I said about the 9/11 one, and like I said about the global warming one.
It's a real world issue. Right?
When you're talking about things where people have lost their lives, you're not making light of the situation. We're not, even if we're laughing and joking about this, it's an entertainment podcast. We're not making light of a serious situation.
Yeah, we're not seriously.
We are dissecting a theory. We are dissecting conspiracy theories that can be either written off or believed if you so choose. But we're not making light about the
And jokes are
circumstances.
jokes.
Jokes be jokes, and
Jokes
cows
be
be
jokes.
farting. You know
Cows
what I'm
be
saying?
shitting, dude.
So, with that being
You
said,
fucking beat me to it.
I said about how aliens are being used as a straw man to bring about the one world government. This next one is a hot topic right now. COVID-19 is man-made and was introduced to bring about the Great Reset, quote unquote. The Great Reset. Now, we all know about COVID-19, all know about that pandemic. I've had it twice, I think.
I couldn't tell you if I'm sure I had it. I never got tested or anything.
It's real. COVID-19 is real.
I got vaxxed, so don't,
For real.
Don't yell at me.
People in 2020 were telling me it was a hoax, and then they got it. So COVID-19 is real. It is a real medical condition that's going around. A variant of the flu, who knows? But the conspiracy we're talking about is the idea that it's man-made, and it was introduced to the population to bring about a great reset and to shift the world. Yay or nay on that?
I'm saying nay because what I think it is to say like, oh, it's the Wuhan thing. It's like, yeah, it wasn't. You're just picking things. Like, I don't know. It's like, I think it was just a thing that the world hopped on for the Great Reset. They made it seem like it was worse. And like you hear things about how people like dying and they would put COVID as the cause, but it's like they got shot or some shit. Like it's to say that it's created, it brings about other shit. Like there's so many conspiracies in COVID alone.
It's a can of worms.
It's a can of worms. So it's like I say nay on that because it'd be too obvious. Because of like it was created in a Wuhan, like they called it. I listened to Jon Stewart talk about it on something, and I can't remember what he said, so I'm sorry. But he was talking about how like these things, like you didn't know, like it was the Wuhan, and like he just made it seem like they were stupid, but it was like these obvious things. I don't know. I think it was a real thing that they just hopped on. And then that was something to blame at somebody. It's all distractions. That was a distraction.
Oh, easily. I mean,
I think people were actually getting sick. I think people were sick by COVID-19. I mean, honestly, it doesn't matter what they were fucking sick by. A lot of people got sick. Like, I don't think it was created in a lab. I think just it.
You think it was a naturally occurring pandemic?
Naturally occurring. I'm not saying that it wasn't. Like, if I'm going down the route of like it not being like totally real in itself,
man-made and intentional.
Yeah, like I don't. It really is kind of a tough one. But I believe more that it was like a natural thing or a bunch of natural things that they classified under one thing, which was COVID-19. Every symptom of anything you have could have been COVID-19. You shit yourself, COVID. You sneeze once, COVID. Like, so it's easy. Like, yeah, you just put it. COVID's an umbrella. Here's my conspiracy. COVID's a real thing in the sense that it's just an umbrella for a bunch of other things under it, which are like cold, flu, diabetes shit. And it makes diabetes worse. Like, no, fucking sugar made your diabetes worse, fat ass. Like, sitting around made you get blood clots and shit. Like, but they put it as COVID just because that was what was happening. But I don't think basically what I'm saying is there was no actual. My belief is there was probably no actual COVID.
Like no strain itself.
No actual strain of something. It's because it had too many. There were too many fucking things you could get from it. I know I'm getting off of the topic that we're talking about.
It was a broad umbrella.
It was such a broad thing. So it's like to say because also there you go because it's so broad. How can you say it's created if it didn't have an intention like that? If it's a broad thing, if it was created, it would fucking just go through people. Like it would have swept more out. Like a lot of people already died, obviously, and that's terrible if that happened. But if it was a genuine like takedown from China, I feel like they're smarter enough to make a bigger dent than that. So it's like I don't know. I don't think it was an intentional.
It wasn't a biological weapon.
I think the back end of it was an intentional thing to get into the Great Reset. So it's like a half yay, half nay. I believe the second part of it.
Okay.
So I know I said a lot of words.
No, that's fair enough. Basically, the gist of what you're saying is that you don't believe it was a biological weapon intended to depopulate the planet or something like that. It wasn't. That's a stupid idea. That was an idea that was introduced early in 2020.
And it happened in China, right? So it just like it's so and we're best friends with them, obviously. So we're gonna say that they did the right thing, right? We're gonna say they nailed it. Yeah. We're gonna say they did a good job. No, like don't fucking blame China just because you're dicks. Like China, let China be China. They didn't do shit. They also had people get sick and die,
and they got on it. They got on the fix real quick.
Yeah, it's like just because, and the reason like they didn't here because they didn't want a quick fix here. They wanted the fucking Great Reset.
They wanted the Great Reset. No, it wasn't a biological warfare attack. It wasn't an attempt to
which sounds way more fucking worse than it actually was, you know?
Yeah, it had a 1% mortality rate. Or 5%, something low, single digits. If it was a biological weapon aimed to shave off some population centers,
it would have been I Am Legend.
it would have worked. It would have worked, and they would have done it better. So no, I don't believe it was intention. I don't believe it was man-made. I believe it was a naturally occurring sickness. It came from some poor diet options.
So you think of it as you think of COVID as its own significant, its own thing.
I think it as its own mutation of the flu.
Which would make sense because we've been here like for a long amount of time for like something like that to happen.
Yeah.
Like our immune systems can only take,
Something
so much.
new.
So
Yeah.
something new comes in. It's like, fuck, what?
And talk about the bats, talk about the pangolin, whatever. It doesn't matter. Talk about wherever it came from, but I don't think it was.
You said the penguin.
I don't think it was a weapon. I don't think it was dropped on population centers intentionally like that. But I do believe
It was in chemtrails.
It was not in chemtrails. I do believe
When the plane went around the flat Earth.
Yes, when they flew in a circle around the flat Earth and the cows were farting.
Dropping cows out of the sky with COVID.
They're just dropping and farting. I don't believe COVID-19 was a weapon or an attack or planned to do anything.
It was definitely something that people took advantage of, though.
But, yeah, there's my second point.
Yeah, sorry.
They were eager to jump on that. I think the governments were very happy to have a pandemic.
Yeah.
I think that they'd been talking about resetting society in certain aspects.
I think a lot of shit needed to be swept under the rug, too.
A lot of shit needed to be swept under the rug, and also new shit needed to be introduced into society. These shifts, and we'll get into what these shifts are, but these shifts that we made as in culture and sociological aspects, these shifts that were made post 2020 are made under the assumption that they're here to benefit you and me, the average American, the average world individual in any country. They make these cultural shifts to, like, it's with our well-being in mind, but let's face it, the world now is unrecognizable to what it was 10 years ago. And it's mostly because of the last 3 years. And what I mean by that is they were very quick to jump on, and we're not even going to talk about vaccines yet. We're going to get to that. But they were so quick to shift the American workforce. I mean, working from home.
Zoom came out of fucking nowhere, didn't it?
Zoom came out of nowhere. Skype's been a thing. Google Chat's been a thing. Microsoft Teams was kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Zoom came out of nowhere. But the shift to working from home was a very real shift made collectively by companies. But damn if that didn't change everything. Because the workforce and the idea of a workforce and coming to the office and commuting to work, it's basically dead now.
No.
Most jobs, even though they might not have been ready in early 2020, most jobs can be done from home now. And they should be, in my belief. They should be done. Not just because of sickness, but because of just, it makes sense. I mean,
It's so good for the mental health.
Look at the trickle-down effect of everything that COVID changed. I mean, office buildings. I used to work in an office building. Office buildings are losing their real estate value.
Dude,
because they're unnecessary.
My office that I work for, like half of that, they sold it.
It's
half
cleared
of the
out.
office, yeah.
Why would companies rent office space when the job can be done from home? Save money there. Why would individuals dress up and commute to work when they can just get the same thing done here and have better worker satisfaction?
Yeah.
Things are changing. And we talked about real estate. Dude, economically, COVID-19 was, I think, the biggest thing that happened to the world economy since the Depression. Right? I was into stocks when that was taken off. Everything fell off. The stock market crashed quickly. People started buying back in. It took off real good. Interest rates on houses were phenomenal 2020 to 2021. That was the time to buy a house. The uncertainty about where the world was going, real estate changed tenfold. What else did COVID change? It changed supply lines. I mean, there was a time, 2022, I think, where you couldn't get a You couldn't get a chip for a motherboard or a chip for a car or a phone. So computer parts, new cars, cell phones, prices skyrocketed exponentially. There was no new cars. There's 100 car dealerships in this town. Most of them had no cars for a year because nothing was being produced. Nothing was being bought. Things were shifting. The economy was shifting. People changed their mind. Companies in the last 3 years, especially where we live, have made the conscious decision to start paying more per hour, like dollars and dollars and dollars higher than they would have prior to COVID, because people don't want to go to work, because no one wanted to be around when COVID was around, or because they're tired and they got a taste of the work from home life and they realized that going to your office to do some shit is stupid. So people are now paying more. Inflation is out the ass right now because the economy is so like elastic banding back from this huge shutdown. It's crazy. I mean, all the way down to movie theaters, dude. Box office returns are terrible. No one's going to the movie theaters. No one's going to fast food because it's crazy expensive right now. No one's buying a house because interest rates are out the ass. The economy collapsed and then elastic band in the opposite direction. Now we're paying the price for it. Dude, the world changed. The Great Reset has already begun. And everything that's coming into play there is happening. I mean, Tesla's stock in early 2021 and late 2020, day over day, growing like crazy, more people buying in. And now everyone's got a damn Tesla on the road. And these conversations about global warming, like we had last episode, trying to introduce the electric cars. You know, the Congress or the government, all the way up to the president's passing these bills about the clean energy and anti-global warming and doing better for the environment. And in these bills, in these 50, 60 pages of these bills, is other things shoehorned in that's got nothing to do with the environment, like advertising rights and technology and privacy and security concerns and even gun rights, gun owner rights. Like, they're just shoving everything into these acts that are coming out of what we learned in the last 3 years. Like, dude, the reset is happening. 5 years from now, the world is going to be a crazy different place. And it's all because of COVID. And COVID might not have been intentionally dropped.
It was intentionally taken over.
But they were waiting on something like that. If it wasn't going to be an alien invasion, it was going to be a worldwide pandemic.
They did that thing where they opened several hallways to see, like, you get, like Get Smart all the way down the hall. And it's just like this fucking one little, like, manila folder that has, like, the fucking Great Reset. And you just open it. It says Great Reset on it.
In the event that everyone sits inside for a short period of time and the economy
Give
collapses,
this to somebody else that isn't Joe. Sorry.
A fresh start, dude. A clean slate. And what better way to do it than when the economy is at its lowest point and people are changing the way they think? I mean, you can talk about the conspiracy to separate people and to make them sit inside and to make them end up like people in Wall-E. You know, you can talk about that. But it's... Let's be real. The Great Reset is happening right now. And if you don't know what the Great Reset is, I'm not going to explain it more here. Look into it because it is happening right now.
Do your research.
Do your research.
It's one of my favorite things that I've heard, like, on all the conspiracy, like, for the past 3 years. Like, do your research. It's like, wow, you did.
Okay, so basically, I didn't do my research.
Yeah, I just heard this, and now I'm telling you about it. You go fucking look it up for me.
Exactly, dude. Welcome back to Real Talk.
It's been real.
But no, dude, conspiracy or not, COVID-19 opened the door for a humongous change in our culture. And dude, I can't even go to Walgreens without seeing this change. I mean, Walgreens has doors. Listen to me. Doors on the cooler, the drink cooler, aren't glass see-through anymore. They're TV screens with cameras watching me. Not just to advertise more shit to me, but to study
We already ice is stalking your ass.
my consumer spending habits. Why?
You're already doing it on your phone.
Look through the window. But look, if you think there's no connection between COVID-19 and TV screens with cameras in your convenience stores, I urge you to look again, because there is. There's a trickle-down effect, and this shit is just happening, man. Have you ever noticed that advertisements are out the ass nowadays? There's an ad everywhere now. Everywhere is advertising.
Like for anything. Like there's this drummer that I like to watch, and she streams on Twitch. And I just went to go watch her. And mind you, it's live. She's in the middle of a song. I had to watch 4 fucking ads before she started playing. I was like, "Fuck, great, you did great. I'm gonna go watch one of your fucking videos now."
Dude, it's crazy. I don't know if there was some kind of like amendment to a bill passed in Congress or something in light of COVID or in light of global change or whatever, but advertising become malicious in the last year or so. I mean, dude, there's advertisements everywhere you turn now.
Everywhere.
It's ridiculous. And I talked about subscription services and all that, and that changed everything. And I mean, that changed with COVID. Everything's a fucking subscription service now. Your car is going to become a subscription service. So I don't know, man.
Radio is now like Sirius XM.
Dude, individual.
Which is, I know that's been around for a minute, but it's still weird. Like a thing that you used to turn on your car and listen to people talk, but now you pay to get, yeah.
Yeah, spending.
For something you probably only lose like 1 channel for.
I mean, it's just no coincidence that there's horrible inflation going on right now. And also, consumer spending is more different than it was 5 years ago. I don't know. I'm getting off on a tangent, but look up The Great Reset, man.
Real tangent.
Exactly. It's changing. But, I'm losing my voice. I'm getting so into this. Let's see. What's next? Oh, man. We're trucking through this. You still with us, or are you dead?
Man, I'm here. I am here for sure. I was prepared for this. It's just, there's a part of it which we kind of went the other way. Like the way of like where we're ending it and then going the other way, ending it on a light note, because I'm fucking exhausted. And now we're going to get into, if I'm not mistaken, some dark shit's coming up next.
We have entered the last 3 conspiracies of our list, which means we're going to do a part 3.
Woohoo!
We're going to do a part 3, episode part 3, Conspiracy Roundtable. Stay tuned for part 3. I got to chop this up. It's just too long. Thank you for sticking around for part 2. Part 3, the finale is coming up, and we're going to talk about 3 conspiracies that are the darkest, the largest, and the most important conspiracies on this list. Stick around, part 3.
It's not real.